Alright, so today I had a back and bicep day. As you can see, it's snowing outside, so I took a while to get warmed up. I did 4 sets of 12 with these, pretty lightweight. Make sure you stretch out your lats and just squeeze at the bottom of the rep. Get the blood flowing in there. And then here's me warming up for the barbell row. So I did about like 10 to 15 reps on the warm up. And I'm resting like a minute to like a minute and a half or between each set of the overhand and the underhand barbell row. So this is my first working set with 195 and I did 3 sets at 10 with these. For these, make sure you pull with your elbows, just your elbows, not with like your biceps or your hand, and to like squeeze your back at the top of the rep. So after my last set, I just went over to the underhand and I did 3 sets of 10 with 175. So like the overhand one, same thing. Well, you should always like just pull with your elbows on every back exercise, and you really want to like minimize pulling with like your hand or your biceps. And I'm sorry for this clip, my butt's just in your face. So the next exercise I did a lat pull down, and so yeah, same thing, pull with your elbows and squeeze at the bottom of the rep and slowly release. I did 4 sets of 10, and I think it's better if you don't go too heavy where you're gonna be using a lot of your like biceps to bring the weight down. So I stayed around in the 100 to like 130-pound range. I can definitely use very heavy weight with these, then then I know that I'm using a lot of like my biceps and momentum to bring the weight down, so it's not putting a lot of stress in my lats. And like another tip is to like keep your chest up and your shoulders back so you can have like a better squeeze and have an arch in your back too. So I'm trying to show that with like these angles right here. So for my fourth set of like every exercise, I like to do drop set to like really push my muscle into like failure, or that muscle that I'm targeting. Next, I did the dumbbell row, and I just did like 3 sets of 12 with 80 to 85 pounds. I didn't want to go too heavy today, and I really just wanted to like isolate my back. And if I go heavier than that, I feel like I'll be using a lot of biceps to bring the weight up. And when you do these, make sure you stretch out your arm all the way out, and then you pull with your elbows to bring the weight up and like squeeze your back at the top of the rep. And another tip is to like keep your chest up and have your back straight. You really want to make sure that you're using like the best form possible for every exercise, because if you don't, you're not going to be making any like good pure muscle gains. And also if you use bad form, it's like a higher risk of injury. So for my last set, I did a drop set. I did 10 reps with 85, and then I dropped down to 45, and then I stopped 1 to 2 reps before failure. For my next exercise, I did the close grip pull up, and this will really help with like the thickness of the back. So I did like 8 normal reps for my first 2 sets, but for my last set, I pulled myself all the way to the top, and as I'm coming down, I stop halfway and pause, and then I drop the other half, and I repeated that for 5 reps. So after this, I finished off my workout with some bicep work. And the first bicep exercise I did was the easy bar curl. I did 3 sets of 12 here. Yeah, I went pretty light so I can really just like focus on using my biceps to bring the weight up. And also try to like roll your shoulders back so you can really isolate your biceps on this exercise. And you see how I'm like leaning forward a little bit? I did that so I can have like a better range of motion. So after 3 sets of this, I did bicep curl, just normal dumbbell curls. I did 2 sets of like 12 to 15 with like, the normal curls. So yeah, same thing. When just go pretty light where you feel like you'll just use your biceps to like bring the weight up, and it'll be easier to really like squeeze it. So I'm extending my bicep, like stretching my bicep out all the way, and then when I bring it up, I'm squeezing it like I'm flexing. So yeah, oh yeah, so here, and then I finished off with 2 sets of hammer curls, and I did 12 to 15 reps here. It's the same thing, lightweight, and just like really squeezing the bicep at the top of the rep. And I went pretty slow, so I have more control over the dumbbell. Never let the weights take control over you. So there's me looking pretty juicy. I had 0 calories before this workout, by the way. Little to no pump.